So I think some of you are missing the point about why I'm telling you that it's important that you burn your strawman documents. I know a lot of you are very concerned about what happens if I burn my documents? What happens? What happens? What happens? I think you're missing what happens if you don't. Okay? This whole situation that's going on right now, they may be, you see that they're going to try and lock you down physically. What you don't understand is this is a spiritual battle. The reason I've asked you to walk out on Facebook is not because I think, Facebook is a terrible platform. What you all are missing is that this is a spiritual battle. This is a battle for your energy, for your internal energies. So when you get angry on Facebook, and there's lots of people getting angry on there, and I think that there are people or bots or whatever on there that are just trying to get a rise out of people because they are harvesting something called loosh, okay? And the more anger and despair and sadness and volatile tempers and whatnot that they stimulate, they create, they harvest that as loosh. So I did a video once that talked about the as above so below and how the people in our world, we covet what's in the dark. We covet oil, precious minerals, precious gems, things like this, metals, gold, silver, whatever. So I asked the question at one point, what do the entities that are below us, and there are entities below us, what do they covet from our world? Because they're allowing us to steal from theirs, so they must be getting something from ours. That thing is loosh. To them, they feed off of it. It's like food for them, okay? So they allow us to take their oil and their precious minerals and whatnot, and in return, they harvest our loosh, okay? So the strawman documents and all of that stuff is a way of imprisoning you, enslaving you, and you think that it's purely physical. It's not. And this digital ID and everything else, if you're a Christian, you should know that this digital ID is the mark. It will be the mark. So if you have an understanding of the spiritual, what you've been taught, okay? What you've been taught in your religion, and I know all religions, one way or another, they cover this. They cover, the spiritual aspect. What you don't really understand is if you're not in touch with the spiritual realm, you're not going to understand it until you really are physically imprisoned and you become a part of the system and you can't get out anymore. Then the desperation goes up, the anger goes up, the the feeling of being entrapped, enslaved, working for what exactly? Your existence? You're supposed to pay for your existence here? What you're really fighting here is not so much the physical. You need to understand that you're a spiritual being. You're in a flesh bag, okay? And yeah, they can imprison that. They can harvest the energy that you create with your emotions because you are a magnetic being. and because they've found ways to easily harvest it with the nanotech, with all of this stuff, the monitoring, the 5G, 6G technology now. All of this stuff, they can even manipulate people now. Havana syndrome is a thing. They can manipulate you, okay? So what I'm trying to get through to you with all of these videos is, yes, there is a legal system in place to keep you locked down, and there is a way out. When you burn those strawman documents, you need to make another document that establishes you, your entity, not the flesh bag, your entity, okay? Not the person, the being. You need to establish you as a being, sign on the dotted line that makes it legal. You are legally establishing that you no longer belong to the system. When you burn those documents, you are making another statement. That is you breaking your chains, your own chains. Do you understand? You are making a statement to the universe, not just to this world, to the universe, that you are a free and sovereign being, that you no longer are going to allow yourself to be enslaved, and you are no longer going to allow your loosh to be harvested by these entities any longer. We're robbing Peter to pay Paul right now. And if you can't see that, then you're going to get stuck in this system. I'm just here to warn you. I'm just here to give you some idea of how to get out of this. If you don't want to heed that warning, that's up to you. But that's your soul. You don't understand the warnings from the scriptures, obviously, if you are not paying heed to this. Even the very elect will be deceived in the end times, and they are being deceived. The 7 years treaty was signed, you guys. It was signed. That was the signal to the 7-year tribulation. And some of you still aren't getting it. You can't see through what Trump's doing. You can't see that Israel is controlling our country. There's a lot of things that you guys are not seeing. And if you can't see that, you're not going to see that your very soul and spirit, that your heart that creates that magnetic energy, that is you, that is being harvested. And if you can't comprehend that, especially as a Christian, if you cannot comprehend this, then you are not comprehending the teachings at all. I used to be a Christian. There's a reason I'm not anymore. Because you all think that you've got it right from what man told you about your religion. I hate to break it to you, but they didn't give you the whole story. I don't know how else to tell you that you guys need to read the 3 Gospels that were left out of the Bible. They're in the Gnostic texts. Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Philip, and the Gospel of Thomas say something totally different than what your scripture tells you. And who told you you had everything you needed in that Bible, that scripture? Man told you that. A pastor told you that. They went through seminary. You know where seminary started? The Catholic Church. You need to look into that one too. Catholic Church is so corrupt. They even have an arm of the Jews in there. That's what the Jesuit order is. And if you look into Freemasons and the little tests that they do with the Freemasons, some of those things where they hang a noose around your neck and they hold a dagger to your heart and they make you swear that you're not going to tell anybody anything, otherwise you're going to... Okay. All of that stuff is all Jesuit order bullshit. That is the Jewish cabal in the Roman Catholic Church. Why? Because the Jewish cabal started after World War II, the Vatican Bank. They have control of that church. So it was the Romans, the Jews, and St. Peter, who, if you read the other Gospels, you find out that St. Peter wasn't such a saint. All right? He didn't like Mary Magdalene. He didn't like her relationship with the Christ. And in order to make their scripture follow what they wanted to do so that men could control this world, in order to do that, they had to usurp Mary Magdalene, Philip, and Thomas. So they just took all of those out and put them somewhere else so you wouldn't read them, and then told you, oh my gosh, don't look anywhere else. This is the only text that you should look at. This is all you ever will need. That's why I don't call myself a Christian anymore. They misled us. Men misled us. And if you knew about your spiritual being and what sin truly was and who Christ truly was, you wouldn't be a Christian either. I call myself a wayfarer because I teach the true way of Christ. But I don't toe the line with Christianity any longer, because Christianity pushes their bullshit on you. That's man telling you what you should believe, not what you know in your heart to believe. If you believe that, that's up to you. But stop pushing it on people, because it's bullshit now. We're not even in Revelation times. We're in Satan's little season. And this is just a replica of the end times. And yeah, they're trying to pull it off, but things are happening way out of order. Every other prophecy they say in the Bible that's happened perfectly in order of what it was supposed to. How come Revelation's not doing that? We're talking about Mark of the Beast right now, and they just signed the 7-year treaty. How does that align with your understanding of Scripture? Because as far as I'm concerned, every time I've ever read it, it says that the Mark of the Beast happens 3.5 years into the tribulation. So you guys are not paying too close attention. But what you really need to be paying attention to is they're trying to enslave and suck out your soul. It's the one thing they don't have. The entities, and I'm not going to get into who they are. We're just going to call them entities. The entities who are behind this ruling class, or are the ruling class, one or the other, are not here to help you. They want your energy. They're bleeding your children. They're putting them into factories where they process the meat and they're selling it back to us goyim. That's what the Jews call us, the goyim. And they're not even real Jews, but they follow the Talmud. They follow the Talmud, and if you knew what was in the Talmud, you'd be sick. They say they have a right to do this. They have a right to take the children of the goyim, kill them, use their blood for Passover, and sell them back to the goyim to eat in their fast food restaurants. They say this pretty plainly. Look up Rabbi Finkelstein. Okay? You need to understand. They have no souls. They want ours because we have them. But you're not guarding your own very well. Especially if you don't know what's going on. If you don't know this is a spiritual battle, and the Bible has told us this multiple times, we are in a spiritual battle against the principalities of darkness. And you guys still think that this is about the physical realm. It's got nothing to do with this physical realm, except that they can control us here. That's all. That's all it is. So I'm asking you all, get out of the system. Declare your independence. Understand your rights. burn your strawman documents on or before December 1st. Or, sorry, not December 1st, January 1st. The reason I say January 1st, 2026 is because now they're going to try and cut off when we can do this, when you can declare yourself independent anymore. Okay? You guys may think I'm rushing you through this. I'm sorry if you think that. We have run out of time. I have been talking to you guys for 2 years. 2 years. And I've been preparing you for this. I've taken you into the Velvet Revolution. I've given you different things that you can do to protest. I have been doing all of these things myself. Okay? The middle of December, you will see me right here where the fire is. And I'm going to burn my documents. I'm going to show you what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. Because you guys watch one video and all you can do is criticize, but you don't see the bottom line on this. You need to pay attention to your soul, your spirit, because reincarnation is actually a thing, even though they don't tell you this in Christianity. They don't tell you that for a reason, because you keep coming back over and over in your generational lines, in your family lines. And you do that because they've trapped you here. They've convinced you to go into the light, that the light is where where God is and all of that stuff. What they haven't told you is it's a deception, and they are recycling souls to continue to torture us. Now, I happen to come from one of these lines. I don't know exactly how. I just know that my blood type tells me that I am. I'm an Ashkenazi Jew based on my blood type. You can look it up for yourself. Most of the B positive bloodline comes from Northern Europe, and they are almost entirely Ashkenazi Jews. I tell you all of this because it is so important that you understand that we are here to rectify what they have done. Those of us in these family bloodlines, we're here to fix those bloodlines and what they've done. But a lot of you are just going to sit back on your hands, wait for something more to happen, wait for Trump to save you. I hate to break this to you, but you're the only one who's going to save you. And if we don't all work together, we get nowhere. So start doing these things. If you don't, it's not just your physical body that suffers. It's your soul. And if you think there's an easy way out, I hate to break it to you, but you're going to come around and do it all over again. That's why there's no easy way out. They've trapped us here. Until you learn, until you fix what's wrong. It's our time to fix what's wrong. Get out of the system. Come out of her, my people. Come out.